Chapter 5. Now, who wants to play some football? Coach Fort asked, pointing to the door. The locker room exploded with cheers. All right, Carlos shouted. Billy punched the air. Let's do this! Go, Saints, go! Rico cried. Coach Fort marched the team outside like he was leading a parade. He talked into the microphones as the TV cameras followed beside him. This is what I'm talking about, people. Look how excited the players are. Does going to class get them this excited? No way. Jamal felt proud wearing his blue and gold jersey, but his uniform wasn't the only new thing at Southside. Thanks to the money from Fort Sports, the field had undergone a makeover too. Grass had been cut, bumps smoothed out, white lines marked every 10 yards, and stands painted. The Saints' gridiron was ready for the first game of the season. Coach stood on the sideline and said goodbye to the TV cameras and reporters. As the president of Fort Sports, I want to thank you for being here today, and you're all invited back to see how I'm helping to give these down-and-out boys a future. The sports channel will be coming back every week, a reporter said. TSC will follow the team, cover each game, see how you're helping the kids. We're going to call the show St. Roland. You know, like how you're saving the Saints. Coach Fort beamed from ear to ear. Jamal could see he liked the sound of that. The reporters packed up their cameras and microphones and went back to their trucks. Jamal and the rest of the team took the field. Coach Fort called the players in. They surrounded him in a big circle at midfield. The first game of the season is only a week away, he said. The other teams in the league have a jump on us. They've already been training for a week. So, we've got a lot of work to do. Defense, I want you to start on some hitting drills at the far end of the field. Shouldn't we warm up first? Carlos asked. Run a few laps before we start knocking each other around, you know, to prevent guys getting hurt. He was the Saints' safety and was concerned about injuries on the first day of practice. I've played a little high school ball in my time, Coach Fort said, nodding smugly. So I know what I'm doing. Besides, we don't have time to get in shape. We have to know our plays. Jamal eyed Coach Fort up and down. He didn't look like he had ever played football, or that he had ever been in shape. He looked white and puffy like the Pillsbury Doughboy. Offense, I want you to come with me, Coach Fort said. Jamal joined the rest of the offensive players and followed Coach. To speed things up, I think you should all play the same positions as last year, he said. Who played quarterback? I was the starting QB, Darnell said, stepping forward. He stood tall and let his muscular arms hang from his broad shoulders. And I was the backup, said Eli, who was a lot shorter and skinnier than Darnell. I came in if Darnell got hurt or was tired, but Darnell is your guy. He's got a great arm. Coach Fort paced in front of the two players like he was a general inspecting his troops. Things are going to be quite different this year. My quarterback has to be smart, be able to think on his feet. I can do that, Darnell said. I'm getting good marks. Coach Fort furrowed his brow. I think Eli might be a better starting quarterback. How do you know? Darnell thrust his head forward. You haven't even seen us play yet. I don't have to. Darnell threw up his hands. You think because I'm black and Eli's white he's smarter? That he'd be a better quarterback? I didn't say that. But that's what you thought, Darnell said, pointing a finger at Coach. Coach brushed off Darnell. What do you think, Eli? How does being the number one quarterback sound? Eli's eyes widened. I don't know, Coach. I'm not sure I'm cut out to be a starting quarterback. Ah, there's nothing to it, Coach said, slapping him on the back. If Darnell can do it, you can do it. If you say so, Coach, Eli said, his voice cracking. I do. He put his hands on his hips. And that's my final decision. Jamal wondered if Coach had different plans for him, too. He had been the best wide receiver on the Saints last year. He had caught more passes than anyone and had a good thing going with Darnell. The big quarterback knew all his pass patterns, just like when they played pickup. He'd launch the ball and Jamal could catch it almost every time. Now that Eli was going to be the starting quarterback, Jamal wasn't so sure that would keep happening. Let's give Eli some practice throwing the ball, Coach Fort said. Jamal, you look like you can run. Do a button hook and see if Eli can hit you. Jamal was happy Coach thought he was fast. A button hook was an easy pass that Eli should have been able to make, but Jamal had his doubts. Billy snapped the ball. Eli dropped back a couple of steps, then cocked his arm. Jamal ran straight downfield for 10 yards, then quickly curled around to face the passer. Eli hurled the pigskin. Jamal put out his hands, but the pass never arrived. The ball landed a few yards short and rolled between Jamal's legs. Don't worry about it, Coach Fort said. You'll complete the next one. Eli nodded. I'll give it my best shot. Jamal knew Eli would give it a good try. He just wasn't sure that was good enough.